one of the few universal experiences that we go through. Whether we like it or not, school has become a necessary part of growing up. Yet, for a lot of people, school kind of sucks.
You eat shit.
For all its rigidity as an institution, high school is really a space of instability for those within it. It's a time when everything is heightened and changing. In other words,
high school, just a mindless little breeder's machine. Total hormonal toilet.
Adolescence is, by definition, a liminal state, a transitional period between childhood and adulthood. So, what does being a teenager have to do with monsters?
Adolescence is like becoming a monster.
In the horror film, that metaphor becomes literal, and it can be about as subtle as a bucket of pig's blood. But it's really the perfect genre for telling these stories because horror is all about bodies, changing bodies, bleeding bodies, torn open bodies, bodies that betray us.
God! I mean, kill yourself to be different. Your own body screws you.
Bodies that transform. It's something that we all experience as we grow up. Okay, maybe not quite like this. But as Ginger Snaps makes clear, there is a ton of overlap between going through puberty and becoming a werewolf.
This is a very exciting, confusing time for your sister. Boys, her body, trying to fit in.
You got some on you.
Nice.
What?
B. Just got the curse.
Ew.
Ginger gets her first period, and almost immediately after gets attacked by a werewolf. The curse, as she calls it, begins to affect her physical appearance and her behavior, making her more hypersexual and violent. Meanwhile, Carrie gets her first period and it sets off latent telekinetic powers. But why is menstruation, which half the Earth's population goes through, so monstrous?
Ginge, what's going on? Something's wrong. Like more than you being just female.
Well, contrary to what Bridget says, it does have something to do with being female. Film scholar Barbara Creed coined the term Monstrous-Feminine to talk about female monsters in horror films as a way of highlighting the importance of gender in the construction of monstrosity. Both Carrie and Ginger Snaps tap into cultural anxieties about gender and sexuality. The way that women are forced into typologies of good women and bad women, virgins and whores, victims and villains.
No one ever thinks chicks do shit like this. Trust me, a girl can only be a slut, bitch, tease, or the virgin next door.
By rendering femininity through monstrosity, these films re-inscribe the symbolic violence of those categories in the most violent and literal terms. Monsters are by nature abject. Abjection, according to theorist Julia Kristeva, is that which disturbs identity, system, order. What does not respect borders, positions, rules. The in-between, the ambiguous, the composite. By unleashing her powers, Carrie violates the boundaries of order, but De Palma also violates film convention by using chaotic split screens, repetition, color, and sound, making this scene abject in both form and content. Monsters violate the boundaries of the body through violence against other bodies, and the inherent violence of their own bodies. And while Carrie's revenge at the prom is both scary and, I admit, a little satisfying, it's the moments of human monstrosity that are most disturbing. This scene from Carrie, for instance, is perhaps the most frightening scene in the whole movie. After a bit of slow-motion voyeurism through the girls' locker room, the camera finds Carrie in the shower, isolated from the rest of her classmates. And while the camera objectifies Carrie's body, cutting it up into parts, as Shelley Stamp-Lindsay points out, De Palma is directly quoting Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, signaling to the viewer that something bad is about to happen. Except the wound, as Lindsay suggests, is not externally inflicted as it is in Psycho. It's coming from Carrie's own body, which makes her body the site on which victim and monster converge. As Carrie moves out into the crowd, the camera alternates between putting us in Carrie's point of view and making us a bystander to the action. This combination of identification and objectification reinforces Carrie's status as both victim and monster, subject and object, self and body, and it reveals the instability of those distinctions. Corporeal waste like menstrual blood is a sign of abjection because it reveals the permeability of the body, and thus of identity. Take a look at this scene from Ginger Snaps, for example.
Bridget, don't. Bridget, don't!
You wrecked everything for me that isn't about you.
Bridget cuts open her hand and Ginger's, then infects herself with the werewolf curse.
Shit. Now I am you.
The scene suggests that identity is as fluid as blood, being transferred from one body to the next like a contagion.
I know you are.
But what am I?
Ginger's response, moreover, speaks to the feeling of loss that comes with any change, any shift from one period of our lives to another.
And the horror element became exactly that, the nightmare of figuring out who you are and who it is that you love.
You think I want to go back to being nobody? You're fucked!
If monster stories are ultimately about identity, then they speak particularly to the experiences of those who already exist on the margins, those who are visibly and invisibly abnormal. These films delight in the broken, the hidden, and the grotesque, but they also leave room for suffering and grief and love. Choosing to embrace our inner monsters is really about reclaiming the language that is used to dehumanize and exclude. It's looking at the worst things humanity has wrought and saying, if that's human, I choose to be something else.